Hello, my friends. Tesla have just slashed the prices of every variant except one of the Model Y and the Model 3. So, cheapest they've ever been, cheapest the Model 3 and the Model Y have ever been. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. This is a live video. So, if you're on now, awesome. Post a comment down there. And if I can get to it at the end, I'll see if I can respond to your comment. Also, I'm going to suggest what I think is the best value vehicles you can now get from Tesla. Of course, Tesla just reduced within the last few hours the price of the Model Y in the United States. It's now $2,000 cheaper for the long range version and $2,000 cheaper for the performance version. But it's also reduced the prices of the Model 3 as well. Now, this comes right after we just saw the standard range Tesla Model Y be launched in the United States. So, this is the first time Americans have ever been able to buy a lithium iron phosphate battery pack. I believe CATL provide the cells to Tesla. Of course, Tesla do the pack manufacturing. First time you've been able to buy a lithium iron phosphate powered Model Y in the US. Now, that model is $43,990 before the tax incentives. There's a lot of misinformation around that model. It does qualify for the full $7,500 tax incentive. So you do get that for a pretty good price if you can get that incentive. That brings the price down closer to what's that, around $37,000. In fact, just under $37,000. That's a really good deal. However, Tesla haven't changed the price of that model. That's the only model that has stayed the same, $43,990, meaning it's actually cheaper to buy one of those in Australia and, of course, China than it is in America. So anyway, that's the cheapest Model Y, $44,000, comes with an LFP battery pack. The long range version, though, is now cheaper than it's ever been before. So with this $2,000 discount, if we jump onto Tesla's website, you can see the price now is $48,500 for the Model Y long range, meaning it's now only $4,500 more to get the long range versus the standard range. The difference between the two: one, completely different battery chemistry. The standard range has the LFP battery. The long range has the nickel manganese cobalt battery with 2170 cells. The other thing, the difference is battery pack size. The long range version has a significantly bigger battery pack. It's apparently meant to be an 82 kilowatt hour size pack, but the usable capacity is around 75 kilowatt hours. That's what analysts say. We don't know if that's technically correct, but I think that's true. So what you're getting is a fair bit more range as a result of that bigger battery pack. The range goes to around about 330 miles on the long range. The standard range is 260 miles. So it's quite a difference here with range, 70 miles more range. But the long range also gives you an additional motor. So you're going all-wheel drive with the long range. You're getting a lot more power as a result. It's around 500 horsepower in the long range model versus around 300 horsepower in the standard range model. So long range, you get the extra motor, which brings with it about an extra 200 horsepower, and it's significantly faster. It'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour, 0 to 100 in around about 4.7 seconds, approximately, which is very fast for a car this size. Of course, the Model Y Performance is significantly faster than that. It'll do 0 to 100 in around 3.7 seconds, 0 to 62 miles an hour I'm talking about. So that one's also been, that one's got a discount as well. So the Model Y long range, $48,500, does qualify for the tax incentive of $7,500. That would bring the price down to $41,000, cheapest the Model Y long range has been in American history. So that's kind of cool, right? Now, the other model, Model Y Performance, this, in my opinion, is probably the pick of the bunch. But guys, I like performance cars. So that for me is the key reason here. Model Y Performance has basically the same specifications as the Model Y long range, but it's got more power. Those motors are putting out a fair bit more power, thus the extra performance. It's also got much better brakes. It's got different wheels. It's got bigger wheels, which are nicer looking black wheels, but the extra performance and the bigger wheels bring the range numbers down. So the Model Y Performance has 27 miles less range, 303 miles. Same battery pack. Now, if you go on Tesla's website, it says the Model Y Performance will do 3.5 seconds, from 0 to 62 miles an hour or 0 to 100. That's really fast. Now, I think that includes a 1 foot rollout. So probably 3.6, 3.7 in the real world. But either way, that's very, very fast. You're not getting a lot more in terms of other things with the long range and the performance. You get fog lights. The standard range doesn't have fog lights. And other than that, with the performance, of course, you're getting that extra power and the better braking, stiffer suspension, I believe it's got as well. Really, though, the Model Y Performance, it's kind of a performance car. Now, I know it's an SUV, it's a crossover, so it's not really a car you'd take to the track. But this kind of power and performance is something you're looking at in, say, something like an Audi SQ5, right? Which is a lot more expensive. $52,500 is the price for the Model Y Performance. So the Model Y Performance costs, what's that? 1.5 plus 2.5, that's $4,000 more. So $4,000. Do you want to pay that more over the long range? I would say most people wouldn't do that. I think right now, the best Model Y you can buy in America for the money is the Model Y long range. Extra motor, all-wheel drive, bigger battery pack, a lot more range, getting the fog lights as well. And I think that is worth paying the extra $4,000 for. Now, you're probably saying, hang on a minute, but it's a ternary battery, nickel manganese cobalt battery. It won't last as long as the LFP pack. Well, you don't know that. And if you actually track these Tesla vehicles, you jump onto the Facebook group, Tesla Mileage, something like that. It's on Facebook anyway. You can find it, the Mileage, Tesla Mileage Club, something like that. People often post the actual the distances they've done in their vehicles. And these battery packs seem to be lasting now for in excess of 300,000 miles for a lot of people. So they are lasting a long time, even with supercharging. Model 3 has been discounted as well. It's the cheapest it's ever been. Now, you can get Model 3 inventory stock for a little bit lower than the price you can for an ordered car. That's still the case now. But Model 3 has a $1,250 discount for the rear-wheel drive and the long-range versions. So that rear-wheel drive model, that does qualify for the incentive. In fact, all Tesla cars now, all Model Ys and Model 3s qualify for the incentives. Only the base model, Model X, qualifies for the incentive. The Model S doesn't. So that means that all three models from Tesla, all six models from the Y and the 3 qualify. So what are you getting for your money here? Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Now, if you buy it from non-inventory stock, so you make your own order, it now has a $1,250 discount. The Model Y, or the Model 3 Performance, now has a $2,250 discount. What does that mean? Previously, the price was $40,240 for the standard range, $47,240 for the long range. So a big difference, $7,000 price difference between the standard range and the long range. You can see how I think it's a bargain to get the Model Y Performance for only $4,000 more when there's a $7,000 gap between the Model 3 standard range and the Model 3 long range. Now, the Model 3 Performance was $53,000. So now all those prices are quite a bit lower. So if we jump onto Tesla's website and bring up the Model 3 here, and I'll try to place an order, see what happens. By the way, guys, I have placed an order for the Highland version. So I don't recommend buying this 3, even though it's really cheap. I'd be waiting for the Highland version. I think that's why they're so cheap right now. Anyhow, the standard range Model 3 in America has 272 miles of range. And the actual purchase price, this is if you make an order that's not inventory. If you get inventory stock, you can get them for $37,000. But if you purchase it straight from Tesla, it's $38,990. That's the LFP battery pack, a similar battery pack to what you're getting in the Model Y standard range. Now, Model 3 long range is $45,990, meaning it's only a couple of $1,000s more for the Model Y. But $45,990, you're getting that bigger battery pack. It's not a lithium iron phosphate pack. Same deal as a Model Y. It's an NMC chemistry. 2170 cells made by Panasonic. Of course, the LFP batteries in this standard range are made by CATL, which is in China. Now, you're probably thinking, how does it qualify for the EV incentives in America? I'm not going to get my incentives because the batteries are not from America. Well, actually, the lithium, the majority of the metals in the batteries comes from Australia, which is a free trade partner with America. So that's why they qualify. They probably won't, it says on Tesla's website right now, they probably won't qualify next year. The LFP batteries probably won't qualify next year because the restrictions will change next year. So if you place an order in January, you may not be able to get those incentives for the LFP standard range Tesla vehicles. Now, the Model 3 Performance, that one has its price changed as well. $50,990 for the Model 3 Performance. So it's also $4,000 more than the long range. Model 3 Performance has less range, 315 miles, than the Model 3 long range. The Model 3 long range has 333 miles of range. In my opinion, the clear pick of this entire bunch is the Model Y long range. For the price, I think it's definitely the best value. In my opinion, the Model 3 pick is none. I know they're really good really good value right now. They're the cheapest they've ever been in the history of America. And that's awesome. I mean, if you really want a car today and you really want a sedan, electric sedan today, go grab one. But truthfully, I really think the new version of the Model 3 is that much better that it's worth waiting if you can. So guys, what do you think about this? I've never seen Tesla slash prices this much. Obviously, they're wanting to significantly increase their sales over the fourth quarter to meet their sales delivery targets this year. They're hoping for 1.8 million sales. To get to the 1.8 million, what do they need to do? They need to increase their deliveries versus Q3. Now, of course, Q3 figures were affected by shutdowns at factories for the new Model 3. And also, remember, they did shut down the production line for the Model Y in China because the Chinese-made Model Y is now different. So I've just said to someone said to me, hey, mate, what should I buy? I'm about to buy a Model Y in Australia. Should I buy it? And I said, well, if you wait 1 or 2 months, you'll probably get the newer version, which has a little bit more range and a fair bit more power and a few little upgrades to the interior. Now, it's not like something you need to wait for, but it's worth knowing. You want to know this sort of information, right? So the Chinese-made production was paused in China for the Model Y and for the Model 3. Both of them had upgrades on the production line. Now, these Model Y changes, they're not the Juniper version. We'll probably see the Juniper version in around 12 months from what I'm hearing. Could be sooner, but that's what I think will happen. Now, guys, let's just see if there's any questions. Good day from Detroit. G'day, mate. Why did I think this was a published video? Yeah, people often think when I'm doing a live video, they say, you're not live. This is a pre-recorded video. And then I try to respond to them live to say, actually, I am live. Right now, it is, guys, 5:21 p.m. here in Newcastle in Australia. And I just went for a swim in the ocean. It was pretty cold. So I was having to go for a run to warm myself up. Good morning from the UK. I wish Tesla would slash prices here. Mate, I don't understand the deal with prices of cars in the UK. They're just so much more expensive than everywhere else, including Europe, Australia, US. What's the deal with the UK? I don't know. No one's really worked that out. We don't get the long range in New Zealand, even though SED and New Zealand both get their cars from Shanghai. That's strange you don't get the long range in New Zealand. When will Model Y long range get longer range? As I live in Port McMurray, there is no charges available between cities. Ali, when will the Model Y long range get longer range? That's the Juniper version, my friend. Should have a minimum, absolute minimum of around 30, 40 kilometers more range. But if they do, in fact, change the battery packs in the new Model Y long-range Juniper, which I believe they very likely will, you could get upwards of 100 kilometers more range. So that's very possible. The reason I say that is because CATL have begun production of the new lithium iron phosphate batteries. It's like an upgraded version of their current LFP technology. It's purely LFP, not M3P. I think they use 4C charging, so much faster charging. These new LFP batteries, by the way, work really well in cold weather. LFP isn't as great in cold weather. They can have more degradation. That's its Achilles heel. But apparently CATL said they've solved that, and they're going to be mass manufacturing these new LFP cells in China in December of this year. So they may go into the Model Y or the M3P battery cells. Eventually, Tesla will have to upgrade to these batteries. They have no choice because their competition is doing it today. Zeekr, for example, are already using the new Cheer-in battery from CATL, which allows their car to have nearly 1,000 kilometers of range. So this will just be a matter of time before this happens. Anyway, even if it doesn't, the new Model Y long range Juniper version, even if you went off just what the Model 3 specs are for the Highland version, it would have probably 30 to 40 kilometers more range, but it's not a huge difference. You're probably still looking at around, 550 kilometers or maybe 340 miles of range approximately. How is it that the Model Y qualifies for the 7,500 tax rebate, but its batteries come from China? So I mentioned that Ultra Stoat earlier in the video. The reason that it qualifies is it's complicated, but one, the US has a free trade agreement with Australia. Tesla was able to prove to the United States that the lithium, basically the metals for the CATL batteries, is coming from Australia. So Australia is obviously certifying that the minerals come from, I think they come from Western Australia. So that's the other side of Australia where not many people live. Those go to China. Basically, CATL make the cells. They send them to America. Tesla then package the cells in America. So there's only kind of minimal input from China. Now, when I say minimal, they're still doing a lot of the work. But basically, Tesla was able to prove to the America that they meet the rules. And that's how they're able to meet the regulations to get the $7,500 tax credit. But there is a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of people saying the wrong thing on a lot of Tesla websites. But it's easy. You just jump onto Tesla's website and it says that they qualify. So you can clearly see that that is the case. Wish Tesla did an EX30 sized small Model Y. My friend Super Mario, yeah, I agree. A lot of people do. And that's what the Model 2 is. So the Model 2 will be basically an EX30 competitor, but it'll be a lot cheaper than an EX30. I think it will. I think it'll probably be closer to, say, maybe 45,000 Australian dollars. The EX30 starts at 60,000. But we're not looking at production now for a long time, probably looking 18 months into the future. It's going to take quite a while before we start seeing the Model 2, which is your Volvo EX30 competitor. 4,000 to 5,000 a month, not 40 to 50. Not sure what that means. Hi guys, I'm from the future. As of 2027, all Tesla vehicles are completely free. Well, that's cool. Freedom off grid. That's, if someone has discovered a way to get back from the future, that's exciting. I think we probably know about that by now, wouldn't we? There'd be some weird things going on. Hello from Calgary, Canada. G'day, mate. My 2022 Model Y long range is the best product I bought ever. Marcio Luco from Canada. Mate, that's really good. When you hear people say that, that's good to hear because I'm part of a lot of car forums. A lot of people don't say that about the cars they bought. They say, I regret buying that. So good to hear you don't have any buyer's remorse and you like the long range Model Y. I think it's the sweet spot. I mean, 500 horsepower. If you work out the Model Y long range, the price per horsepower, now I know a lot of people don't care about horsepower, but it's still nice to have it, right? If you work out the value equation, I did a weird geeky spreadsheet, bit of fun, got out the Excel file, actually Google spreadsheet, and I put all the prices in per dollar for kilowatt hour. And the cheapest car that I could find in Australia was the Model Y long range on the dollar you pay per horsepower, which is kind of weird. I didn't think that would happen, but it was. Now, one car that's going to compete with that soon is the car we just mentioned a minute ago, the Volvo EX30, the performance version. The new version, the new performance version, that's also got a lot of power as well. I'll be waiting for the Model Hardware 4 in Australia. Gary, yeah, I get what you're saying here, mate. The Model I'm guessing you mean the Model Y with Hardware 4. That could be a good decision. I'm waiting on the Plaid Model 3 Highland. The Plaid Model 3 Highland. That could be a thing, That could be a thing. We do know the Model 3 is getting a new motor. It's been confirmed. If you look at the actual serial number on the motor, it's different. So that's why we haven't seen yet Tesla announce a Model 3 Highland, because I don't know if it's going to be Plaid, but it's going to have more power than the previous version. I think Tesla really wants to up the ante. Why are they going to up the ante? They have to, because you've got the Kia EV6. You've got all these other cars now, Hyundai Ioniq 5N. You got the Mustang Mach-E GT. All these cars now that are almost pretty much as fast as a Model 3 performance or close to it. I don't think Tesla likes that very much. I think they want to be the clear leader here with performance. That's what they did with the Plaid, right? So I agree with you. The new Model 3 Highland will probably be near Plaid mode. It'll be a lot faster than the current model. So that'll be an exciting car to have, actually. No more inventory discounts. Price now is actually higher. Actually, Dell West, I just went on Tesla's website in America and I saw the price there for the Model 3. It might depend on the postcode you put in, my friend, on the actual discount for the Model 3 on inventory. So if you put a different postcode in, it'll bring up certain inventory within that location. So if you want the inventory stock, you may have to just put in a different postcode and be willing to drive to that location. Could be a fun road trip, actually. Anyway, just an idea. What other questions do we have here? Any thoughts on the removal of stalks and ultrasonic sensors? Now, I don't think ultrasonic sensor removal makes any difference. I think Tesla isn't using them anyway. I think it's like a myth that we think they still are. So that's my opinion on the ultrasonic sensors. In terms of the removal of the stalks, I didn't really like that idea, to be honest. The Model Y still has the stalks in it, the newer Chinese-made version, which I've mentioned I think is a positive. But that said, I did watch a review on the Model 3 with the new buttons, and apparently you can feel a press. There is a click when you press the buttons down. It would take me a little while to get used to it, but honestly, I'm not really that worried about it. For me personally, the only thing I would like to add to a Tesla is a heads-up display. So when I get one, I'm hoping to get the Highland Model 3 next year, but we are potentially going to the US for Shanna's cancer treatment, John Hopkins University. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to follow through with that order for that reason. But if I do end up being able to get one, then I would like to get one of those heads-up displays. You can get them on Alibaba, and there's hundreds and hundreds of reviews. People say they're really good. That's probably the only thing I would add to a Tesla car change. I know a lot of people think that's stupid, but that's one of the things I've gotten used to in my old BMW X5. You can actually get a discounted model ordered directly from Tesla with less than 4K down payment and a total no more than 20 grand with a referral code. Wow. Daniel McMurtry, I'm 5 months into Model Y rear-wheel drive in the UK. Love it. It is expensive compared to the USA and Australia, but it's so cheap to run. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It is expensive. You're right. It is expensive to buy the Model Y in the UK versus Australia, Germany, France, China, America. But so are all cars in the UK. All cars seem to have a premium on them in the UK. Must be some kind of taxes. Anyway, no one seems to understand why this premium is added. But the funny thing is, used car prices in the UK seem fairly low compared to other countries. It's bizarre. Everyone hit the like button. Yeah, guys, that would be unreal if you could do that. That does help the bizarre YouTube algorithms. By the way, guys, I just saw an ad right before I filmed this video. I wanted to let you know, I was thinking about making a video about this because I can't report this as a scam. And I've seen this ad come up 3 times for me now. It's Elon Musk giving a speech. And he's sitting there giving a speech saying why you should use his new investing product. It's this amazing thing. If you invest in this bizarre scheme, he's going to make you millions of dollars. And he's used Genius AI to work out how to scam the system. It's obviously fake. If you listen closely, you can see that they've kind of like dubbed in a fake Elon Musk voice. But come on, Google, YouTube. We make this content for you for free. You profit from the videos we make for you. And you can't be bothered vetting people who are advertising scams. This full-on scams, pretending to be Elon Musk. People are going to say Elon Musk defrauded me of all my money because you guys are allowing this fake, crazy advertising. I can't believe that YouTube isn't vetting these kinds of advertisers who are pretending to be Elon Musk. There's actually all these Tesla YouTube channels. There's one right now saying it's live. It's live 24 hours a day saying Tesla has some brand new product. And click on the channel, they've got a brand new EV. I mean, why are these channels, why are they existing on YouTube? They fall for these scams. Anyway, rant over, but I just thought that was worth sharing with you. Don't click on one of those videos. It's not really Elon Musk telling you to invest in his crypto scheme or investment scheme. It's fake. Why would anyone want a Plaid? You need to replace the tires every 5,000 miles. Ricky, you don't need to replace the tires every 5,000 miles, my friend. Maybe you need to replace them every 5,000 miles if you drive like a maniac. But if you just drive like a normal human being, you don't need to replace the tires every 5,000 miles. Whoever told you that is trying to create a sensational YouTube video. My boys, they always come to me, Dad, I heard this thing. And I say, Bud, that's fake. Where'd you hear it? YouTube. I get it. Clickbait. Okay. Missed the start of the stream. Discount on new vehicles in Australia. No, there is no discount on vehicles in Australia yet. Now, I just made a video, guys, a couple of days ago showing you the price of all these cars in Australia is cheaper than America. And then within 2 days of that video happening, America goes and reduces all their prices of every single model except for the standard range Model Y. Now, guys, you can rewind this video. When I hit end, I'm going to end the stream in a second, and then you can rewatch the start of the video. But to summarize what this was all about, the US, Tesla in the US has, they now have a $43,990 Model Y standard range. They've reduced the price of the Model Y long range by $2,000 US. It's now $48,500. The Model Y Performance has had a price reduction to around $51,000. Model 3 Performance price reduction was $2,000. Well, actually, I believe $1,250 for the standard range and $2,200 for the Performance Model 3 Performance. So extra discounts, meaning I think from what I can tell, Tesla is selling their cars at the cheapest prices in history. But if you include the value of inflation, which is obviously deflated the value of the money you're paying, then it's guaranteed they're the cheapest electric cars from Tesla ever, which is, I think it's really cool. We've been saying this would happen. Prices of electric cars would come down. And it takes a while, but we're here. It's happening. And this will drive electric adoption faster. We're seeing one of the most important points in history happening today. Now, not just today, but really every day. Innovation is happening at incredible speed. And honestly, I know I say this a lot, but the kind of American entrepreneurial spirit is something I think we need to embrace here more in Australia, because things are really happening over there. There is hundreds of billions, maybe more than $1 trillion now invested into EVs in the United States and battery factories. And we're talking about an incredible revolution. We're right on the cusp. Things are going to be incredibly exciting over the next 5 years. Looking forward to, spending this time with you guys and just seeing what happens. It's going to be truly mind-blowing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.